Okay, so I had a little bit of a surprise here that I'm gonna hit you with out of nowhere.
Okay.
We're gonna have a third member join on here, okay?
Okay.
Get ready.
All right.
Trust me. Oh,
Owens.
Jess, are you there? Oh, let me take a second.
Do I know this woman?
You don't. Hey, we can't hear you. Can you hear us? Oh.
No audio, but
No
darn,
audio.
what a visual.
Yeah, once he's figuring out the audio. So I figured we're gonna have a heavy-ish show. So maybe still can't hear you. We do something.
Hey, this is Zoom calling. Like this is part of like 2020 and 2021, right? It's either having a cattail walk through, like a snake charmer. Okay, she's
let me make sure I'm not muting you for some reason.
She's connecting the audio, so she's trying. Can you hear us, Jessica? No. Okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
Boom.
Yes.
Yep.
I did it.
That always happens.
Right.
That always happens. It always works out.
Sorry.
I don't know I've
only done a Zoom once. So
well, here we go.
Once? That's intriguing right there. I thought everyone had done dozens of these by now.
No, I just hid out in quarantine. I didn't talk to anyone.
I thought you were gonna say the opposite. You're like, I didn't quarantine at all. I just went out there and met people face to face. I don't have to Zoom.
Nope.
You really isolated.
Yes, me and my cat.
See, there's the cat. Did you have like the cat tail walk through the shot?
No, he was my boy. He is my boy. What's up, guys?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad I figured this out. I was like kind of embarrassed for a minute because I couldn't get the audio. I couldn't get the audio to work.
You're all good. I think that's just kind of your rite of passage on the whole Zoom thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad it's over now.
Yes. Well, so now, Brandon, do you have any idea why I possibly could have? And it's Jess Oh. That's Jess Oh. Jess Oh. Yeah.
Jess
why I
Oh.
have her? Jess Oh. Okay.
Jess Oh.
Nice to meet you.
Oh,
yeah.
That's like that's how you go by, Jess Oh?
Yes, or you can call me Jess.
Okay.
Either one.
Well, remember I said earlier, Paul, people usually aren't very good with names unless you try. But okay, Jess Oh. Well, it's great to meet you. I'm Brandon. Paul probably has told you a little about me, I'm guessing, when he mentioned this. I, however, know nothing about you other than the fact that your appearance here, and you have some Halloween bat decorations behind you, which makes for a really good set, by the way.
All year round.
And that you're not good with Zoom audio, but you're a quick learner.
Yes.
So that's what I got.
Well, I'm glad we're on the right foot.
No, so knowing Paul, I would think, okay, how did he meet this woman? You know, maybe on a dating app, maybe it was just one of those things. I don't know. I know about your work out in the country. I don't know if you may have met her.
No.
Huh? Yeah. Your work out in the country, or I don't know. Did you meet her at an ice cream shop the way I met that one dude in
the donut shop? No.
Yeah.
No. So I figured, since this podcast, we're talking about some heavy-ish stuff, I thought we'd take a little break and do something a little different. And so earlier I asked you what time you were born.
Oh yeah. It's like 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Okay, so this has to, so Jess, so the way we met is just on IG. I don't know how we became friends, just probably mutual friends. And she would go live.
Instagram.
And do tarot readings.
Right?
Instagram.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta say that.
Yeah, so she would, would pull cards for me and then do readings based on my birth time.
Oh, wow.
And I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that with you. So that's why she's here.
I won't tell my mom or grandma, they won't like it, but
that's okay.
Yeah,
we can keep it between us.
I'm sure you run into that here and there. So what state or what city are you in?
I'm in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Have you two met in person then?
We've never met in person, no.
So you just coincidentally were from the same area and met on Instagram? Did you have mutual friends or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how it happened. That's how Instagram recommended you to each other. There was mutual. Okay, it wasn't just totally random then.
No, it's just
No.
something like that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
well, gosh. Did you grow up down there? I don't hear much of an accent, but maybe Oklahoma doesn't have too many. I don't know. much of
I'm
an
from a
accent.
small town called Noble, which is about 6 miles south of Norman.
Oh, okay.
I was raised there, and I lived in Norman for about 10 years and like throughout my 20s. And then I moved here to OKC in 2017, and I've lived here ever since. And I love it here.
I have so many questions.
Go
But
for it.
maybe I'll let you do the asking since you're the tarot reader.
Well, I started reading tarot about 2 years ago after a long-term relationship breakup, and I was just trying to curve bar hopping and stay at home. And my
Okay.
roommate had a deck, and I just started playing around with it.
Hmm.
I've been into astrology since like high school, and it's kind of a lifelong, to me, it's a lifelong learning because there's so much to learn. And so I'm still learning with tarot. So I really enjoy interacting with people. I'm a pretty social girl. So this is a great opportunity for me to like learn more. And, you know, I do collective readings for people, or I do personal readings for people. So yeah, it's just further learning for me. And that's why I started doing the Instagram lives. Besides like, you know, loneliness, I have people come in and interact with me who I like, Paul, who I didn't know at all. And he just started, you know, interacting with me and asking for readings. And so I've learned quite a bit about him just through the tarot and doing his natal chart. So it's pretty interesting.
Natal chart, like
A natal chart.
like natal as in neonatal unit, baby, infant.
As in what it's basically a graph, it's a graph of what the constellations were at the moment of your birth. So
Okay.
I can look into that and see, you know, different things that could happen throughout your life and your personality traits, and you know, it digs pretty deep sometimes.
Yeah, this is a vision. Like, let's say someone is, well, let's say someone does social commentary and they just kind of see how the direction the country is going, or they watch like world affairs, and they just kind of have a sense for the moving pieces on the chessboard, or maybe they're a therapist and they can just kind of see, oh yeah, I can see the way that person's childhood has now affected him or her. And so do you have kind of that sense, you would say, that you can see how the astrological variables have influenced the person into
Absolutely.
adulthood?
And I can give you a great example. OJ Simpson's chart really freaked me out the first time I looked it up. And it was very telling. And I mean, I look at anyone's birth chart, celebrities, you know, public figures of any kind. And he's a great example of someone that I looked up, and I really dug deep into his chart, and I was like, wow, there's some very, very telling and strong placements there. So
there's a lot of confirmation. Oh, go ahead.
I want to know how a chart can both, like, because he lived two lives basically. He was all pro NFL running back. Then he was an actor, and then he was a murderer. Yep. Like, how does it start? How does
well, like I said, with natal charts, it's like a bunch of graphs kind of laid on top of each other. You look at squares and conjunctions and trines, and then you look at the planet placements, you look at the sign placements, and all together, it's kind of like a big puzzle. And based on the placement settings, you can really see some intense and telling signs of how a person has lived their life, and even going back to their childhood and, you know, traumas that they've experienced. And it can bring up a lot of things. And like I said, it can be very telling. And I remember looking at his natal chart and just being like, wow, he's actually a friend, or he used to be a friend, because my uncles played football for OU and the Saints and the Lions. So he was like friends with my uncles back in the day. So I was like, we were like talking about him one night, and I was like, oh, I wonder what his chart is, or like what his sign is. And so that's kind of how I like got into that. And then it really freaked me out because it was just like, oh.
I assume you had looked up OJ's chart because maybe it was like a textbook case that was shared by other teachers. Like if you want to, you know how in like law school or something, they'll give like these for instances of court cases that are famous. Like in this case, the lawyer argued this and this. Exactly. I thought maybe OJ's was like a textbook one that they use to teach people about how to do what you do, but that's not what happened. Like you just discovered it on your own.
I did discover it on my own, but that's a really great example to use because, you know, other astrologers that I've followed on social media, you know, I'll use another example, Donald Trump, you know, picking apart his chart and kind of seeing like if there's ways to figure out how he ticks. And, you know, these like really strong personality public figures. And so for me, I just kind of cherry picked. And for OJ Simpson specifically, he had come up in a conversation, and then that kind of tricked a part of my astro nerd mind where I was like, oh, I wonder what his sign is. And so I found his birth information and I looked it up, and it was just like, wow, you know, I feel like it was very intense.
It seems like you stumbled upon something there that you could then use to teach people.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm currently doing a natal chart for a friend's mother whom I've never met. And, you know, that's kind of difficult. And obviously I've never met OJ Simpson, but I know things about him. But it's just different with every person. You know, it's like a fingerprint. Everybody's natal chart is different. Everybody has a natal chart, no matter who you are or how you grow up or who you become. And, you know, certain people are just really interesting, just like you brought up the court cases. You know, it's interesting to dive into those kinds of facts and, you know, tribulations and moments in time. So I guess that's a great example to use as far as
can we get something out of the way first off, because there's so much of a reaction to this whole topic. How do you respond to people who dismiss it immediately?
I just let it go and I don't hassle people about it. If they're not into it, then I don't try to get them into it. But I will say
go ahead.
That when I started doing tarot at my last job, there were people who were very like naysaying, and then they eventually would come to me and say, hey, can you read my cards? So I think some people immediately are quick to be like, no. And then maybe later they'll think, oh, well, it can't be that bad. It's kind of like getting your palm read or something, or you go to the fair. It's harmless. But, you know, some people who don't want anything to do with it, I just leave them alone about it. I don't try to get them to do something they don't want to do.
Has anyone ever like shown you, because people do this with chiropractors too. They say there's no science to back it up. It's nonsense. Stop what you're doing. Like they're almost like aggressive about getting you to try to stop. And they try to use like science to say, this is just mathematically not true. You have to stop it, whatever.
Right, pseudoscience.
What's that?
A pseudoscience.
Sure.
Like,
But you just respond to that.
I've had people kind of make fun of me before. People call me a witch, or you know, they just think, oh, you're one of those girls. They'll say stuff like that, which I'm not exactly sure what that means. But I just kind of, I'm just kind of like, okay, like, I mean, I just leave people alone about it. I mean, I wouldn't want someone to try to, you know, twist my arm into something that I don't believe in or I don't want to do. So I just kind of let them think whatever they want, and then I move on and I go, you know, I just do my own thing.
It sounds like
Brandon, hold on. You are such a natural interviewer. This is the point where it flips. Like you give information to her, and then she's going to do a reading for you. So we're going to pause on the questions so we can do this thing, right? That sound good?
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Thanks for the moderation.
You don't have, I mean, I can do a blind reading, like, so, okay, let me just say, a lot of times if I'm shuffling cards, I will have you think of something specific that you would like to come up in the reading, or something that you would like to resonate specifically, you can say it out loud. You can talk to me about it. You can think of it in your mind and not say anything. So ultimately, you are the tarot reader, because you know you better than anyone, and deep inside, and what you deal with and how you cope with what's going on in your life. So I just interpret how the cards lie and what they mean. So when I do a reading, just try to have an open mind and interpret it into your life how you will. As they say in this tarot world, take what resonates and leave what doesn't.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, so what we're talking about, two different things. There's the natal reading, right? Is that,
Yes,
and then what you're doing now? Oh, sorry, what is it?
That is astrology. So tarot cards, astrology is tied to tarot, but forgive me, I thought we were talking about tarot in that sense, but the cards are separate from the natal chart.
Okay, so and so maybe today, because we've talked a little while and stuff, but maybe we just do the cards today, and then maybe at a later date, maybe we can get Brandon's information to you about his birthday and time, and maybe we can have something prepared if we want to, and then come back and do that.
That would be great.
Okay.
Because the natal charts are so much more in depth.
Yes.
And they take time to look at. But I can do it off the cuff. I did it for you.
You did. No, we'll do that a different time, because but now we can let's just do some cards, or do some.
Okay.
I'm mixing up. I can't even talk now. I'm mixing up all the terminology, and I'm just gonna shut up now and let you all do it.
That's okay. No. It's all good. It can be a bit confusing because I don't know. They're in the same realm, but they are two different things. So what I do is I call it chaotic shuffling, as you've seen me do, Paul, where I just like pull the cards and whatever falls out, I read them how they lie. There are other ways there are different spreads to do, but I like to do it this way, especially with blind readings. And so when the cards that come out are called jumpers, and they're more like urgent, like what you need to know now, kind of things, if that makes any sense. Okay. So are we doing a collective reading, or am I doing like a reading for everyone involved, or would you like me to just do a reading for Brandon?
Just Brandon. Okay. This is his moment.
This is his moment.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay, Brandon, what's your last name?
Ferdig, Ferdig.
Ferdig. And what's your sign? Your sun sign.
Taurus.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna get a nice little charge here. I did cleanse these beforehand, so we should be good.
It's Taurus now, right? We're in the Taurus season.
Wait, we're in Taurus season.
My birthday's coming up.
You're keeping it on the low. You don't want people to find your information, do you? Read your thing like OJ.
Nah, I turned 40 May 15, bro.
May 15.
Yeah.
So you are a May Taurus.
May.
My best friend's
I didn't know that made a difference.
Yeah, well, there's April and May.
Well, there are. I just thought Taurus was Taurus, but okay.
Taurus is Taurus. I dig it. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna finish the deck.
Chaotic shuffling.
Shuffling.
There's order in chaos.
There definitely is. I've had a couple come out already.
So should I think of something or just not worry about it?
Were you not thinking of anything while I was shuffling?
Not while you were shuffling, no. But I had a couple things in mind earlier when you mentioned it.
Okay, that can resonate.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. So, and with tarot cards, they can be upright and they can be reversed, and they have different meanings based on if they're upright and reversed. So the first card I have here that fell out is the 5 of Cups reversed. And I'm just going to shout out some keywords here. Okay. So this is forgiveness, emotional maturity, and recovery. And it can be, and let me also just say before I get into it more, this can mean you personally or someone close to you. someone in your life or a relationship in your life. It can be based on love, friendship, parents, siblings, you know, lovers, anything like that.
Can you read those again? I'm going to write these down. Can you read the
what I just said?
Keyword, just the keywords.
Keywords. Okay, so this is forgiveness, emotional maturity, and recovery. This is the Five of Cups reversed. And so it can indicate facing some sort of disappointment, recovery from regret and acceptance, letting yourself be vulnerable, knowing what you want and doing your best to figure that out, especially in an emotional sense or in a relationship. Let's see here. Change, although uncomfortable, is sometimes needed to evaluate your life. Okay, so that's the first card. And with the second card here, we have a major arcana, which is the major arcana are like the big cards, like the highest cards. They have the highest energies, and they're pretty intense sometimes. And so here we have the Empress. This is a feminine card, and of course there's masculine and feminine and everything. It doesn't necessarily have to mean a woman. So this is fertility, Mother Earth, and you are an earth sign, and goddess, yes, and we're in Taurus season. So this is like creativity and love. It's connecting with your feminine energy or a feminine energy in your life. And it implores you to explore your surroundings, express your creativity, and plant the seeds for a fulfilling crop of life. Giving respect to Mother Earth, and take after her loving vibes and support. And
sign me up.
And nourish yourself, to nourish yourself as well, in that sense.
That's sweet. That's like a prayer I can say to myself every morning. Like, just read those things, and that's like setting your intentions for the day.
Exactly. And I usually pull a card for myself every day. And I'll kind of, you know, that's just something to dwell on during the day with whatever, you know, I'm dealing with or whatever will come up. And it helps me.
Yeah, it's motivating.
So for the third card here, we actually have a 3 of Wands for your third card. And this is persistence, anticipation, and progression. Okay. And we have a Seneca quote, who's a Roman philosopher. I don't even know if I said that right, but luck is what happens when preparation means opportunity. Okay, so that quote is tied to this card. And as a result of your persistence, you have made steady progress in your endeavors, and you are on your way to your grand vision. So you have quite a bit of prosperity going on so far, and abundance. Following your curiosity has led you on a path to gather unique skills and absorb useful information that can help you expand both outward and inward. This is a time when travel is encouraged, if you are able, of course. And to dive into what lights your soul on fire. And this is the Manic Mondays deck. I just want to put that out there, that I'm reading from. Just a little shout out.
There's different decks, or they're all
oh my gosh, there's so many different decks. It's insane. They have Golden Girls decks, they have Friends decks, they have Cats, Lisa Frank.
But they all have the same cards, right? Like a deck of playing cards.
The traditional cards, yes. There are other oracle cards. Some of them are like spirit animal cards, or, you know, it really is a very vast array of different kinds of cards. So let me see, where am I? So then the next card here, we have the 7 of Pentacles, and these are, this is upright. So this is investments, sustainability, patience, hard work pays off. Okay, that's kind of what I would tie to this card. Seeds have been planted, and now you are starting to see the fruits of your labor. This isn't just about money. This is about passion. Okay, you're putting blood, sweat, and tears into something that you feel very strongly about, building a foundation of your personal freedom. And patience is key. Okay, and not, and I have to highlight this part at the end, not, no get rich quick schemes here. You are in it for the long haul. You make that face.
Uh-oh.
Well,
What about my Bitcoin?
your
Yeah.
Bitcoin, I don't know anything about your Bitcoin, but what's funny that you mentioned Bitcoin, the next card is a pretty intense card. That made me laugh. So the next card.
Jess Oh laughs at intensity.
I do. Chaos is a friend of mine. So this is the Tower card, and the Tower card represents abrupt change.
Say that again. What'd you say?
Abrupt change or destruction of some kind. Okay. And it can be subconscious. It can be like beliefs that have been established by your parents, or it can be literal, like a fire. Regardless, the turn of events has split you wide open. It's like a rude awakening. Okay.
So it could be a good thing, right? Like maybe you're destroying something bad.
Yes, because it's like, think of like a phoenix rising from the ashes. It's kind of like that sort of sentiment. So with grace and ease or raw emotion, the choice is yours on how you deal with the sudden change. With destruction comes creation, so not all is lost. Okay. I just have to say, for like on a personal note, I had this card pulled for me right before a breakup. So, and it ended up being like really great that happened in the end. So I'm just going to insert that as an example. Okay. And then the last card here, we have we have the Three of Swords. And this is actually kind of in cahoots with the Tower. So this can mean rejection or pain of some kind, or heartbreak. Look at how it like is piercing the heart, the swords, and the swords can be pretty intense as well.
Striking image.
Yeah. Sacrifices and broken relationships weigh heavy on your heart. Could be taking up your mental space. You could have doubt, loneliness, or betrayal. Trust that you are strong enough to survive. The most painful lessons define our strength of character. Use this power of emotion to fuel yourself. Okay. Let's see. You'll feel better once you allow yourself to lean into your discomfort and fully feel pain. Okay, so now I'm going to look on the bottom, and the card on the bottom is strength. So everything that's gone on here, there's a lot of abundance and prosperity, but always keep your wits about you, because anything can happen that could knock you down, right? Heartache, pain, destruction. But since the bottom card, this is the last card I'm reading for you, is strength, and that's pretty telling, right? Just keep that strength within yourself, because you have it in there. Fierce, endurance, courage. It's not only the card of physical strength, but it points to your inner strength. Okay. Power of self-control and approaching a problem powerfully and gracefully and carefully. And connecting to your inner, outer, and strength is key for embodying your own inner strength and ferocious energy with finesse and prowess. Know that you have all the tools necessary, not only to persevere, but to strive. Okay, so with all of these cards laid out here, like I said, you have the abundance and prosperity, and you're an earth sign. I assume that you're a very hard worker. So like I said, there could be, some destruction, or there could have already been some destruction of some kind to happen to you, whether it's in your career or your personal life. But like I said, always remember to pull from your inner strength in the end.
Yes.
That's a great way to end on it, especially after these two, because it's like, oh man, and then it's like, no, I'm good. Like, this is Leo energy right here, very strong. So yeah. I hope
Well,
that that resonates with you in some way. And like I said, if it doesn't, then you can just leave it.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, you could ponder one card for a long time, and then you start
Yeah.
putting multiple ones that adds more things, and then you start to see them how they potentially interact. So
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of compliments between them and a lot of contradictions as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
one saying, like seeds have been planted, like in like the feminine card, but then in the investment card or whatever, it was like you have to plant seeds. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of
She's
fun how,
planting.
yeah, like one is your uh, just like harvesting the things you've done in life, the investments you've
Mhm.
made, relationships, whatever. And then another one is like you're planting seeds for the future. So that one
Mhm.
caught my attention. I remember that one. I liked how though you bring up a lot of chaos and struggle, but then fortunately at the end, it's like you're not going to be given something that you don't have the strength to endure.
Exactly. And that's,
It's in the Bible too,
that's
by the way.
promising. It's very promising. And,
Yeah.
like I said, there's always, I just recently learned to read the bottom of the deck at the end. And I'm really glad that I did, especially now. Because I'm like, oh, wow, what a great surprise. It's strength. And
Mhm.
that's a really great card. And this is also a major arcana. So this is also one of the most powerful cards that you can pull, along with the Empress, which was, and the Tower. So you have 3 major arcanas here in this spread for you. So it's a lot of powerful energy.
It's empowering. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows, right?
I'm-
It's there's something about being told this stuff that puts it in your mind, it puts it in your intention. I understand the draw. I understand the. It's almost like when I meditate most mornings, and I have a little morning meditation book, and I'll read it, and it just puts in your mind ideas that are, them, but it just puts them in there again, like forgiveness or love or observation or whatever. Otherwise, we hit the ground running and we're off in the day, and we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of those
Yeah.
reflective moments too. And I didn't do my meditation this morning, so boom.
You didn't.
Nope.
Wow.
Paul knew that.
I knew.
He knew that.
Right? That's so
Without me saying
weird.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really glad that he asked me, because like I said, I really enjoy doing readings for those people. I mean, obviously we've never met. I've never even met Paul in person. Everything I know about Paul is from readings that I've done for him, but it really does bring connection.
And all of it on Instagram?
Yes, I do Instagram Live, and people tune in, and some people will interact and some people won't. But there have been nights where Paul and I have sat there for a while, and we've talked, and I've done his natal chart for him and dove into some stuff for him, and it seemed to resonate. And
Really
I really enjoy when people are open, to the idea, because if anything, even if they're not, it's just, it can be really fun, to pull cards, but it really does kind of, for a lot of people, it digs deep in a sense, into what people are going through.
It's a portal.
In their life.
It's a portal. I mean, I had all kinds of things come to mind, from this podcast and this YouTube channel to Bitcoin to a relationship to a brother to my own personal journey, right? I mean, it gets you reflecting on your life and all the aspects of it. It's actually really good, like an inventory, where you can kind of look at your life. And so thank you.
Well, yeah.
You're
So
welcome.
once this is posted, we'll put all your info and stuff. Is there anything you want to say? Because I mean, this is going to go up on his the Periphery YouTube channel.
I'll say that tarot and astrology for me have really helped pull me out of some pits in my life, personally speaking. And with the tarot specifically, it's really brought me closer to people in my life, even my own mother, you know what I mean? Because before she was very like, oh yeah, whatever, you're playing with your cards. And now she kind of comes to me and says, well, what is my card.
Oh,
What do my
really?
cards say? And this and that. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really brought me closer to people in my life, people who have been in my life for years, like my best friend and my mother, like I mentioned, and people that I don't know. And I mean, obviously, even Paul's a great example. I mean, he and I didn't know each other, and we still kind of don't. But we've found a connection through this portal of.
You know him very well at the
In a
same
way,
time.
I do. I'm like, yeah, he's a Capricorn. Like, I just like know. And so it's just, for me, it's just really brought me closer to a lot of people just in general. And I really enjoy it. And it's even brought me closer to myself. And like you mentioned that you meditate, I'm the same way. I have to connect with myself before my feet hit the ground in the morning, and pulling a card for myself really helps me set the day off.
Yeah.
And kind of plants that seed in my mind for what's going to happen, whatever's going to happen, I can handle it. Just like you can.
Awesome. Well, Jess Oh, thank you for stopping by. It's been a lot of fun, and
Thanks for having me.
yeah, and hope maybe we can do this again sometime.
I would love to.
Awesome. Okay, well I'll hit you up a little later, but thanks again for stopping by. Okay.
Okay, it was nice to meet you.
Thanks, Jessica.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay,
Surprise.
let's see here. How do I remove her?
Well, now I can't wait for the next time. And no, I have to bring someone on, right?
Yeah, definitely. We're trading off.
I'll bring like I'll bring like a Jamal or I don't know, some guy who studies rocks, and I'll bore the hell out of you.
Oh man, well, so what'd you think?
Oh, I mean, it surprised the heck out of me first. I don't know. It makes sense now why you asked me earlier.
Yeah.
Why what time of the day I was born.
Yeah, we didn't even get into that, but that is a more intense kind of thing, and I think you have such a curious mind. Like the whole point was to bring her on just to kind of do it, but you could have talked to her for another who knows how long. I could tell the wheels were spinning.
Yeah, I want to know like if this is something. I mean, how popular she is. Does she have 100 people watching her, or 10? Or I want to know just about that in her life, if it affects her personal relationships. I got all kinds of questions for her. But
well, maybe we can, because it is an interesting topic, and she seems to be an interesting person. So maybe we can have her back on at some point.
She's definitely a someone who gets provocative can have kind of a negative connotation, but I mean, she's got a great look, and she does interesting things, and I'm sure she's got great stories and articulate. So yeah, she's a great guest. Yes. And then she looked right into my eyes and then into my soul. So that's always impactful too.
Now, do you have, before we move on, do you have any thoughts about what the cards she pulled? How did those resonate with you?
I think I like the starting of the, I mean, it gets me to reflect on starting this channel, the Periphery Media, starting the Periphery Foundation to go along with it. So, beginning new things, planting the seeds, as she said. The feminine energy is something I've actually written a little bit about after some time in China, actually. And just kind of reimagining what it means to be tough or powerful in a different version of that outside of the West and America, where it's, so that's always great. I am doing like some, I think people are usually in the process of inner growth, inner development, self-help, I don't know what you call it. And so those sorts of things were brought up in me. Finances, of course, with some of those cards. The dramatic ones at the end kind of had me think about leaving behind traits that are not helping me, right? And using destruction as a positive force. So yeah, there was a lot there. I could divulge the details, but I don't think that's necessarily all that vital. I think it's those universal truths that are that can really reach out and connect us.
Mhm.
And that's why I think tarot is honestly really popular, because, or appealing, because it's so universal and everyone can relate. And
Yeah.
if nothing else, it gets you reflecting on these things. And I like, that was
Well, good.